Hey guys, how's it going? All right, so today we're going to talk about how to write a system of equations when given a table. So, for example, formulas that you're going to need to do this if you're doing it by hand is the formula y equals mx plus b, which is our goal, because today we're going to be giving you XY chart, and you're going to have to be able to come back up with the equation. That way we can graph it. We're not going to graph it today. We're not going to solve it. We're just learning how to write the equations if all you were given was an XY chart. So remember we talked about in last video that a system is graphing two things, basically graphing two things at the same time and figuring out what they have in common. So we have two lines right here, and they are going to cross in some way, shape, or form, hopefully. And we want to know where that point is. Again, we're not going to solve it today. We're saving that for later. We're just going to learn, how do I get y equals mx plus b from xy charts? So again, you'll need slope-intercept form. You are going to need something called point-slope form. So if you have a point and you have a slope, you would plug it into here. And lastly, the most important one is slope, the formula for slope, which is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. It can also be called the change of y's over the change of the x's. Okay, so let's just dive into it. I have three different ways for you to get this, the third being the calculator version, which I will show you at the end. But let's start off with method one. We have learned all of these in the past, so let's see how this goes. So first of all, how many points do you need to solve or to find a line? You only need 2. So they might give you a lot of extra information. We only care about 2 of the points. You can pick your 2 favorites. I know y'all want me to pick the positive ones because that's what you're comfortable with, but I'm not. I'm going to pick the negative. So we are going to pick these 2 points right here and see if we can solve it. So first method is, first you need to find slope, because remember our goal at the very end is to find y equals mx plus b, m being your slope. So if you found your slope, you're already halfway done. So let's try it out. Slope, we can use this formula. So we need a bar. Notice the bar and the 2 minus sign. So I'm going to start with that. And I'm going to plug my information in. Well, here's my 2 points. I would call this one my x1 and my y1. This is my x2 and my y2. So y2 and y1, that would be 7 and 1. And then we have x2 and x1, that would be 1 and negative 2. Notice the double negative. So double negatives are positives. 7 minus 1 is 6. 1 plus 2 is 3. And 6 divided by 3 is 2. So that number we just found is your slope. So I already know this is going to be y equals 2x. The only part we don't know is b. So after we found slope, now use point slope form. So I'm going to go here and look at my point slope form. And it says that it is y minus y1. Well, what's our y1? Our y1 is 1. Equals m. M is our slope. We found it. It was 2. X minus x1. X1 is negative 2. Notice a double negative. That makes a positive. So now all we need to do is distribute our 2 into the parentheses. So we have y minus 1 equals 2x. 2 times 2 would be 4. And the final step, notice we're really close. We need to add 1 to both sides. We're doing that to get y by itself. And y will equal 2x plus 5. And that is our equation. Okay. So remember, we already knew that half of it. We just couldn't find the b. So that is a way to do it. And remember, if we have 2 Remember, we're solving two at the same time. So we also want to know what the equation is to this one. And I'm going to give you a little hint, and that's why I intentionally put this on here. So let's find the slope of this. So again, I'm going to pick the first 2 points. And let's see how this goes. So to find that, let me make a little line here so we know we're working on the second one. All right, so I need to find my slope. I'm going to show you a little trick. Instead of doing this formula, I'm just going to change it up. Let's try this. The change of the y's. How do I get from -1 to -9? Well, that would be subtracting 8. So -8. The change of the x's. Well, how do I get from 0 to 2? That would be +2, +2. What is -8 divided by 2? Well, it's -4. There's my slope. That didn't take long at all. I like that when they give you XY charts. So the next step is, now that we know our slope, I want you to check something out. Y equals mx plus b. Well, m is our slope, so our answer is y equals -4x. But again, we don't know what b is, or do we? Because the b right here, right? M was slope. What does b represent? Well, b is your y-intercept. It's where it crosses the y-axis. And what do you know about all y-intercepts? The x is 0. This point right here actually is, check this out, where's 0, -1? It's right here. That is your y-intercept. So sometimes if you look really carefully, they already give you the y-intercept. It's anything that has the x of 0. So I know it's -4x, and my y-intercept is -1. I don't even have to do all that other extra work. If they give you the y-intercept in the problem, don't work that hard. All you had to do is find slope, and you already knew what b was. B was actually right here the whole time. So there's our answer. So just so you're prepared for the future, if we were solving a system of equations, not writing them, but solving them, we would graph both of these on a graph and see if and where they cross. I can tell you right now that these two lines will cross somewhere. I don't know where, but that would be whatever point they intersect at would be your answer. Okay, let's try another method. It's very similar to what we did up here, probably a couple less steps. So method 2, again, find the slope. How about we don't redo that again? We already did it once. So we found our slope. M was equal to 2. Good for us. So because I found my slope, now we're going to use a point to solve for b. So I'm going to write y equals mx plus b. The only thing that we have left to find that we don't know really is what b is. So what I can do is I can go back and pick any point and plug it in. For example, I'm going to pick the point 1 and 7. X is 1, y is 7. And I'm going to repeat that. X is 1, y is 7. So look at my formula. X is 1, y is 7. And look what we can do. 7 equals 2 times 1 plus b. Now you can solve for b. So this is 7 equals 2 plus b. And the final step would be to subtract 2 from both sides. And b equals 5. So now you know what m is, and now you know what b is. So you know your entire equation. Y equals mx plus b. And that is the exact same answer that we got up here. I like this because it's a little bit faster. And you don't have to use the big nasty point slope form. All right, let's try it again using this method. So again, I first need to find my slope, so the same methods that we did. So on this one, we know our slope was negative 4. So again, I'm going to write y equals mx plus b, plug in negative 4 for m, and let's pick a point. Let's pick the easiest one. Here it is. X is 0, y is negative 1. Again, x is 0, y is negative 1. X is 0, y is negative 1. We know our slope, it's negative 4 times 0 plus b. And let's see what happens. Well, negative 4 times 0 is 0, so we get b equals negative 1. So here's our m, here's our b. So our final answer is y equals mx plus b, which would be minus 1. Again, same exact answer. Okay, the last method is using your calculator. So let's go ahead and show that one to you. So calculator version, we had this in a video a while back, is how to do this with a calculator. All right, so you would want to first go to New. And we don't want to save anything. And you're going to see something called Lists and Spreadsheets. So this brings up a table, looks very similar to your XY chart, and you want to make it look like an XY chart. So we're going to call the very top X and the other side Y. Then you want to move down to the white portion and put in your 2 points. All you need is 2. So negative 2, 1. And the other point is 1, 7. All right. From here, we want to hit the menu button. We also want to note you want to make sure you're out of the box that's where 7's highlighted. You want to get out of there because it does weird stuff. So statistics, calculations, and look, there's mx plus b. So we click on that, and what did we call our x column? Well, we called it x. What did you call the y column? Well, we called it y. And then we hit enter 2 times, and here you go. Look what it tells us. M is 2, B is 5. That's almost the same thing we did on this method. We found M, and then we found B. So M is 2, B is 5. It's that simple. So it's MX plus B. The calculator tells you what M is and what B is. And again, if we wanted to do the other one, we'll just change it right here. It's at the top. Then what we can do, and I believe if the calculator is nice to you, you can actually go back in and just change these to 0. It works sometimes. If it doesn't, you can start over again. 0, negative 1, and 2, negative 9. And there it is. It changes our values for us. And it says M is negative 4, B is negative 1. And there it is. M is negative 4, B is negative 1. So calculator is definitely more efficient. I guess it is a lot faster as long as you know what you're actually doing. So that's all you need to write equations when you are given a XY chart. Again, we will solve these later this week. We really need to know how to get to the actual mx plus b equations from a table. Once you can do that, I promise you solving is going to be a piece of cake. All righty, guys. You have a great night, and I wish you the best of luck as always.